it's Izzy Dakota Jones, and you're with The Art of Doing. And we're going to be talking to a friend of mine, Gene Greenwood. And Gene has a humongous reputation, a great reputation of video film, such bands as Slash, you name it, country artists, rock artists, Alice Cooper, everybody, you name it. He's done tons of videography, and great videos, great way of shooting videos, great ideas, great colors, textures. There's just something about Gene's work that is really, really impeccable. He's done photos. He's friends with a lot of great artists on this planet. And we're going to be talking to Gene and about other things too. As we get into it, you'll hear a great little history and story as we're talking to Gene Greenwood. And this is called The Art of Doing podcast. And hang in there, and we'll be with Gene in a few moments. Yeah.
Things kind of gone a little bit further now that I go. I tour with bands, and I've got a crew, the rock and roll Sherpas that I set up, that we kind of go on the road with bands and do major festivals every year now. So
that's very cool.
I jumped off of the kind of shooting one band with like a music video or something like that, and gone more into multicam broadcasting for major events. At that point, you kind of, I don't know, your inventory builds when you need 12 cameras.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Because you're getting different shots and different angles and all kinds of stuff, right? Yeah. And
we do a lot of shows. I do all through the South and that, and I usually tour with my guys, so we usually roll with 8 or 10 cameras. We usually do it to the big screens and stream it out or whatever, right?
Right on. And for a while there, you got into country music, I heard, right? You were doing country for a while.
Yeah, well, I guess people make mistakes now and then. No, I'm joking. Country was a lot of fun. It's kind of like where the paycheck went. I think a lot of that was sort of, I wasn't really a country fan until I kind of got into it. And I guess repetition kind of beats it into you, like disco did in the days.
Yeah.
And it was a group and a community of people, like I said, where the paycheck was coming from. Rock was kind of, who knows what was going on then. But a lot of the rock guys jumped over too, They wanted to get some money, and they just couldn't make any money in the rock world. So they jumped over to the pool with us, and I stuck around that for a while, like, I don't know, 5-6 years or so. And just went back to my roots, man. Like, it was really cool, listening to all the twang stuff, bouncing around to it, but my heart's kind of rock and roll, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of hard, like I was down in Nashville. I went about as far as you could go with country, too, Like,
yeah, you did, yeah.
Was down in Nashville hanging out with, Chuck Howard.
Very cool.
We were kind of responsible for Steven Tyler jumping over.
Yeah. So how did you feel like about so when you were down in Nashville for a while? How did you get the vibe from Nashville? Because it's such like a so cool music city, very gritty, right?
I look at it a different way. Like, I look at it from the production way, and I kind of warn people about Nashville. It's a really good place to spend money.
Oh yeah.
It's not a very good place to make money. So
yeah.
It's kind of, you can write music anywhere, as you know. You write some great music. You don't have to be in the heart of country. You don't have to be here. You don't have to be there. It's where your mind is.
That's right.
And a lot of people use, I think, Nashville as kind of an excuse that they have to migrate to it. And I find the sound is all the same out of there. And it's full of ambulance chasers that are trying to take your money to make a CD.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do, but everyone comes back going, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah, exactly.
Full of crappy music.
Yeah.
It's fun because all the tours start there. So for me, it was really good. It's where all the tour bus headquarters are, where a lot of the stuff is. It's kind of music capital, I guess.
Yes, it is. But it's sort of like a music capital here.
I kind of pulled out of there. There was a couple of reasons. I got sick with cancer and stuff, but
yes.
Right right now, there's a big exodus of people out of Nashville heading back to LA, which is kind of fun because that's where for me it all started. Right?
Yeah, and that's what I sort of get like LA sort of bouncing back. I was talking to a friend of ours. Well, he co-manages us and publishes us, and Jay knows everybody in LA, and so Jay was recently saying that the scene is starting to come back, right? Even like the record companies and everybody are starting to come back, right?
Yeah, well, like Vince Neil, he moved over to Nashville, right?
Yeah.
Like he's even thinking of jumping back, right? Because I mean, it's really cool, but I mean, Nashville's really good if you're the top artist in the world, but if you're an upcomer, there's just so much talent on those streets that it's really hard to get anywhere there. You know, because there's so many people vouching for the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas LA is kind of, I mean, when you called me the other day, I was really excited because I was looking back at some of the work and some of my friends like you, and I'm going, you know what, these guys are just ahead of their time a bit.
Yeah.
You know? Because your music with the Twitch, like that whole look, that whole kind of Motley Crue, kind of unsafe kind of territory is coming back.
It is, yeah. It is coming back right now. Yeah, it's coming full circle.
I think people need a rock and roll gong show icon again. There is nobody. Everyone's too granola and safe, and the music is so cookie cutter kind of basic that you get someone like Greta Van Fleet or someone like that's outside the box. They're kind of making some noise out there now.
Yeah,
you know, I like where it's going.
Yeah, I sort of do too. I think it, and there's no rhyme or reason to it, right? You know, and so it's there's no thing anymore. Like you were saying, there's no genres anymore too, right? They're coming down. The walls are coming down.
Well, I knew it was at the end of the road when I started seeing rap crossing over the country. Like what? Like I think the acronym is crap.
Yeah.
I just kind of went, you know what? They've recycled everything in the country, and it really lost the roots of what country I think was. Like old country is really cool.
Yes, it is. I love old country. Yeah.
Earl Haggard and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Now I don't even know what it is.
I know. It's a weird hybrid, if anything.
Yeah, and it makes it hard for guys that are sticking to their guns that don't start to, get a fiddle player in their band or, make a little twang instead of a 7-string guitar or something, and but I'm hopeful. I think rock's coming back. We're starting to see, I was I'm with CannaFest for the last 6 years. Last year we brought up Vince Neil, Brett Michaels.
Right on.
Just everybody, man. Everybody that I'd ever worked with, Night Ranger, even the Beach Boys and that. And the people really enjoyed that more so. Although we did have Mariana's Trench from Vancouver there that made a lot of noise. Right?
There you go.
And the kids are, I don't know, man. I think they're just tired of boring. I don't even know how to explain that.
Yeah.
They want a show. They don't want to have someone sitting on a chair with a guitar singing about a dog.
No, it's like I don't know if you heard of that band Ghost.
They're great, man.
They're incredible. I went to see the show recently, and the show, let alone they're really good, the show is incredible. Right? It was just like, and you could. The sad thing is like they haven't even caught on yet. The show was half full. The building was half full, and
it's weird because like there's not many musicians that are just working as a musician. Most musicians are working because they love doing it and they have to work another job.
Yeah.
Like my cousin down in LA, he was the house band for the Viper Room for 15 years or something. And he finally went home to his landlord and he goes, I got fired out of the band. He goes, well, that's shitty. And he goes, no, it's great. Now I can start to afford to pay rent.
Yeah, that's good. The irony of that.
Well, it's really true, and you come from a time, I think we're around the same vintage.
Yeah, we are.
we used to be able to walk down Granville Street. Like, we'd go down there. Like, now I'm horrified going down there. But, we used to go down there, and you could tell who was a rock star walking down the street. There was a scene here.
Yeah.
And now everyone kind of looks the same, and everyone's tired. Everyone's scared of talking to each other. And we came from an era of music in Vancouver that was pretty goddamn magical. And I think a lot of people like yourself or me are just trying to get back to that magic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's even possible, right?
Yeah, who knows? I think I played last night with my blues band. Like, it's a kind of Black Crowish kind of thing. And
nice.
We played last night with that band, and we had a bunch of young kids that were in the bar. They know more than like 20 years old. And they're musicians themselves. So like 7 or 8 of these kids were musicians. They played in little bands and stuff. And it wasn't busy last night because it's a long weekend. But the thing was, they came up to us and they said, they said to my drummer, they said, we watched you guys play, and you can tell you guys would play with the same intensity if the room was full or empty. And
well, you have to, man. You have to.
And and the drummer looked at me and says, you know what? We don't know any better. We just don't know any better. We've been playing for so long that we don't know any better because, we just play. We just love to play. So we don't really care if there's 100 people in here or one. We'll play to the one person. We're fine with that,
Back in the late 70s, there's 2 bands I was pretty proud to kind of jump up with. And when I mean jump up, I mean before they had festival shows, right?
Yeah.
Van Halen and Motley Crue. I remember when Tommy was saying, do we really want to hire this guy? Right?
Yeah.
For fans. And it was really funny because the dilemma with them was they were almost like a circus act. They were kind of talented and that sort of stuff, but not like the talent that was out there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they came in the market when there was some pretty heavy musicians out there that had been in the role for a while. And their whole thing was everybody was bored from shows that were kind of granola kind of thing.
Yeah.
And their whole idea is let's bring the festival to the club, right? The whole thing, the big show into the small little dirt bar, right? And that's how they got it. They just shoved it down their throat rather than waiting until there was a big audience. They played like it was Madison Square Gardens, and they were playing the Roxy.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I think that's why the guys go through it and they kind of get over it because people want to be entertained. They don't want to stand there,
Yeah, you're right.
Text their friends or something.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah. No, I hear you. So tell me.
How do you feel about the kids out there that when your shows, because you got a couple different acts. I know you got a couple bands sticking around right now. How do you feel about all these guys with their phones, man? Like standing up, putting their hands up with their phones.
I know.
What's that like as a... Like for a singer, that it must be distracting, eh?
It is distracting. You know what? It's well. What can you say? I mean, you see it everywhere, right? I mean, like people are on their phone.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, the people are. Well, it's like I think once I saw a show at the P&E with when Cyndi Lauper had like a blues thing going on. She had a blues album out, and she was playing at the P&E one summer, and everybody had their phones out, and the first thing she did was told everybody put the phones away or she's not playing. So people started like pulling their phones out, and she'd stop playing. And then she said, I'm not kidding. If you don't put the phones away, we're going to leave. We're going to go home. Well, we want to play for you, but, And it was...
See, I'm kind of involved with designing shows now. Like with you, when you knew me, I was kind of like pushing cameras around and doing what I really liked. And now I kind of design the shows. So like, what happens when they come on stage? Where is this placement? What lights are on? I do that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of our shows are designed for in real life, we call it. Right?
Yeah.
IRL. And no one's living in real life. Like they want to, I don't know what it is, right?
They don't want to be in the moment. That's for sure. Yeah.
And we design our shows for that, right? We're not designing them for post-work. Like for just we're designing to get as much of dollar value for the audience as they can get.
Right.
But it's really hard when you got someone holding an iPad up in front of 4 people behind them. And it's a tough one.
It is. It's changed. It really has changed. Like you said, I don't think people are as present as they used to be, right? And that's that's kind of sad. But like I said, the artists who give a shit, I think will say something, and then like what's her name said, Cyndi Lauper, and then you're looking at people like the other night, like I told you when I went and saw Ghost. That you're right. People want a show. So the show is so big that if you don't pay attention, you're gonna
miss something.
You're gonna miss something. So then people start paying attention, right? Because then they realize, the show is so big, we're gonna watch this. And I think you're right. If there's a show, they pay attention. I think the days right now, these days, it was like that for a while. I think if you that's why I asked you about Nashville. It was gritty and stuff. What I was trying to say is, and rootsy. I think the days right at this point of being really being rooty, having the root, real root artist, real gritty, real just stripped down. I almost think that's going to start fading away unless you have.
It's going to go away, man.
Yeah.
When was the time that like we grew up with Bryan Adams, right?
Yeah.
He was from our hood. He was there. Well, Bryan really didn't write any songs. He was the guy that was jumping on stage. I mean, he wrote songs, but then he brought Jimmy Valance in, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy wrote the stuff with him. But you never saw Jimmy on stage on a chair singing.
Yeah.
Because that's not his gig. He's a writer.
Yeah.
Right? He's almost socially inept, right?
Yeah,
Whereas now those are the guys that are on stage.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I think the singer-songwriter thing is great, but the problem is it's what you do with it. I mean, if you go and see Paul McCartney, the difference between somebody like Paul McCartney actually talks when he writes a song, he actually talks about it because he has history, so he knows how to tell you about the song and then play it. So it's different because then he's actually talking about the experience of writing the song and what you're about to experience when he plays it. So how that's genuine smart, right? And then at the same time he's got fireworks going off and everything too. So he gives you the full deal, right? He doesn't fuck around, right?
Well, yeah, we lived in an exciting time, man, where we could go out and basically do anything we wanted at a concert that our parents didn't want us to do or anything. Get away with it and come home okay.
Yeah.
Like we might have a hangover, we might have saw unicorns or something from acid or something. But nowadays kids got to worry about getting shot.
No, I know.
And I don't know if I don't think I've told you this, but we now for our spec. I'm banned from the States because I have that little cancer thing going on. But once I get back in the States, we have to shoot with a bulletproof vest, a helmet, and Kevlar boots.
Wow.
That's protocol in the States for concerts now.
Wow.
So, it's a whole nerve factor.
Yeah.
That, they are going from the front of stage. They usually do target practice in the camera guys. And, it's kind of scary, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
To be honest with you, and every time we put a concert together, we have to, the threat thing is a thing, whereas before, all we were worried about people getting trampled at the front of the stage, not people with guns.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
no, I mean, it is scary. I mean, I just finished going down to LA a couple of weeks ago and seeing Rod Stewart and Jeff Beck, and to getting on the plane is like ridiculous, right? I mean, I get the security is needed, but it's it's almost like a super annoyance because it's just unreal what you got to go through.
Where did you see Faces Light?
Yeah, Faces Light. I saw Faces Light at the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh man, that would have been great. And how was Rod?
He was pretty good considering, how he's getting older. He's entertaining enough. He knows how to talk to people still. He sang pretty good considering, he sang.
He's got the sexiness, right?
Yeah.
He's got the girls eating out of his hand. The guys all want to be him. The girls all want to sleep.
Well, the band he had, you know, was really good. I mean, like the players are like top-notch players, and he had like, you know, really, you know, he does it really uniquely. He had like these 3 girls, you know, that play like, you know, mandolin, violin, you know, fucking, you know, they dance.
You got the girl on the sax, right?
Yeah, they dance, they do everything, and you know, so it's like a Vegas show with the girls, and then he's got, you know, like the band, the guys in the band, you know, he's got twin guitar players. They're twins. They're actual twins,
yeah.
right? You know, it's just like, I don't know where
he got it dialed in, man. He got it dialed in for his age. Like, I'm 60, and when I first started with him, I was 16.
Yeah.
Right, and he was older than me, but it didn't seem like that much, right?
Yeah.
He is getting up there in age, man.
He did a good job. I mean, you know, I was there to see Jeff Beck mainly because I've seen Rod.
Oh God, yeah.
But Jeff Beck, Jeff only played 5 songs, but they did like the real old stuff, like, you know, Superstitious, you know, Beck-Ola stuff. They did 5 songs. It was really good. And Rod was actually really excited. Like he was, you could tell, I want to get Jeff out here. I want to get Jeff out here. And the minute he had Jeff come out and play, they stripped it down. So they went to like a, you know, a typical rock thing, you know, bass, guitar, vocals, drums, and keyboards, and that's it. They stripped it down. They didn't have a big, huge show, right, for that. You know.
He's not got Carmine with him, right? Like, he doesn't have Carmine.
No, he doesn't have Carmine with him, no. But he had a bunch of young players. They were really good. Yeah. And the Hollywood
I missed a day at Carmine.
Yeah, the Hollywood Bowl is an interesting trip. It's a different venue altogether, right?
It's a pain in the ass getting in and out. It's nice when you're there, but
it's a shit's getting in and out. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare if it's packed. It's a nightmare if it's packed. And security again is like the amount of security you have to go through to get in there. It's just unreal, right? And I get it.
Yeah.
I get it, but like, boy, after a while you go, I'm really annoyed with this kind of stuff, right?
It really, you know what? It gets you out of the moment. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
If you and I were 20 again, we'd be going out before the show somewhere, having a few pints or something, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to get there 2 hours ahead.
And you got to these days, yeah.
Like, you got to, because they got to check this, check that. By the time you get in, you feel like you're watching a concert inside an airport.
Yeah.
Security thing, right? And it kind of takes the fun out of it.
It's definitely changed. It's definitely changed. So tell me.
But you know, go ahead.
Go ahead, Gene. Go ahead.
Well, you know, what I'm saying is things are changing out there, and like I was kind of ahead of a little bit of it. I did some research when I took a couple of years off just to get my health back, and we started messing with a whole bunch of things like virtual tours.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know how much it costs for freight. You know, to take your boys down to LA, it ain't cheap, man.
No, it's not.
And in Canada, there's only 8 cities to tour, so like your freight is huge because you're going across a whole continent just to play one city, almost, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So with the kids, with all the screens and the devices and the stuff that drives me nuts, we kind of said, hey, let's give into it and see what we could do, right? So I was down with the band Hillbilly Vegas, and we took a hangar and green screened it all out. And, you know, we put on virtual shows. No one noticed any difference.
Yeah,
our attendance was huge. The band was making money. If we didn't sell any tickets, we didn't have to worry about going somewhere and having to do it, losing money. We just rolled it over to the next week and get more people to play.
Yeah.
To watch, to pay. I think there's something to say about that, right? It's almost like we have to give in to the phones.
Yes,
but,
I think so, yeah. We have to give up to the technology.
Yeah, man, there's something out there.
Yeah. So, hey, let's talk a bit about what you're doing now, what you got going on with the YouTube channel and all that. What about that?
Well, I've got Tour Bus TV. What I have is I've got Michael Williams. Remember him from Much Music?
Yes.
The Power Hour. I've got some of the old Much guys that are doing live stuff, and we're covering shows, we're playing playlists, kind of like in Much Music, because there is no Much Music anymore. It's just reality shows. Right?
Yeah.
So we're bringing that back with Tour Bus TV. We got different programming on that. We also have my tour group, the Rock and Roll Sherpas. They've got their own channel and stuff like that. So a lot of them are posting all their stuff with the bands. That's kind of an interesting one. But what I'm doing really right now is I just got over, I had a little bit of a little stay with cancer for 5 years.
Yeah.
And I just went through, actually just 2 weeks ago, I found out I'm not terminal anymore, so that's kind of fun.
That's good.
Well, yeah, it's almost like being at summer camp and seeing the end of the holiday coming, right? Now I made it home and I'm planning the next holiday. Before it was like, okay, it's over. I don't know if you know, but April 22nd was going to be my last day living.
Yeah, you were saying that to me, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't need it, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm cured, and I kind of helped myself get better with some really good doctors. And now I'm actually sort of going full-time into helping people that have cancer.
That's very good.
We're putting together a bit of a foundation, growing legal cannabis. I'm going to try to get all my Canadian buddies and bands to support a cancer patient and, kind of make them feel better, supply some free medicine that they can't afford, stuff like that. So that's what's coming up in the future for me.
Good.
And I am going back into the music again, the tours. But I'm just very picky on which ones I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I tend to go for some of the bigger ones rather than some of the little fairs that are around. But
yeah.
There's some big stuff coming up around here. So.
Good.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. Well, Gene, we got to hook up sometime, just period, without doing things like this.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the other problem. People don't get together anymore.
I know.
Send text messages, emails. I don't know what the hell they are. These Instagrams, all this stuff.
I know.
But nobody actually sees someone's physical face. Like,
not anymore.
If someone's mad at me, show up and punch me. Don't send me a text.
I know.
Come and hug me.
Yeah, I know. It's insane. And then everybody, I got 2 or 3 friends, like, in our age group, and that's all they do is they text. Don't call me, just text me. And I'm going like, that's so impersonal. It's ridiculous, right?
Well, it drives me nuts. Like you're still doing the thing during the day, right? Like you're still doing that, right?
Yeah.
Well, like a lot of times, both your hands are full, man. Like maybe you're writing something about someone, a report or something like that. The last thing you want to do is take your mind out of that, then read something, then comprehend it in your mind, then type it back to wait 20 minutes while the guy's maybe taking a pee or something.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you can't do anything on your work.
Yeah.
To me, a phone call, put it on the side of your head like we're doing right now while I'm editing a music video.
Yeah.
You couldn't do that with a text because I'd be tied up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's so true. Unreal.
Yeah, man.
Anyways.
Let's just get back in our world to rock and roll and good shows like we used to have at Lassiter, places like that, and the Commodore, right?
Yes.
Live in the now.
Yeah, live in the now, in the present. That's right. That's what we've got to do. That's all we got.
Well, also, there's some pretty different times right now for kids. It's pretty scary, I would imagine.
I imagine so, yeah.
They're going to survive and shit. But, with the times that are scary, usually comes some really good music, right? So,
yeah.
Like the Vietnam stuff, when it came out, look at the music we got.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always...
Now, hopefully with this Trump thing, all we don't get is a new Halloween outfit. Maybe get some good music, right?
I've been thinking that too, Gene. Funny you say that. I figure something...
Well, no, it's... Huh?
Something's good got to come out of that shitty situation. I'll tell you that.
Well, I think it is. I think... I have... Most of my friends are American now just because of where I've been hanging my hat. It's not that I like it or not. It's just what it is. But I think they have a little bit grasp on, the power of the vote.
Yeah.
And, like their say would make a matter. I mean, I don't know who's going to run next. Maybe Pee Wee Herman, but I have no idea.
Pee Wee Herman. Right? I'd vote
He's
for.
actually not looking too bad compared to
I was gonna say that. I'd vote for Pee Wee.
yeah, right. Hey, where are you guys playing in the next while? Your band?
Well, we just played last night down at Princeton, just in the hood. We got we're just doing a bunch of local shows. So the Twitch is sort of changing style, like I was telling it, music. So we're writing a lot, and so we're gonna have that new direction out probably in the new year with a release, and then we're gonna go from there. So it's with that band, and I think we'll be going stateside next year again, and down the States too. And then we're looking at Japan too. So we're looking at the costs. Japan is expensive.
The freight, man, that's what kills you, right?
Yeah, it's not cheap.
That's what I call it, or shipping or whatever. We just call it freight, cubic feet, and it just costs you money.
Yeah, it's not cheap from what I understand, right? So, but I'm trying to look at grants and everything else to help out. You have to try to do that, right? Because it's way too expensive, right?
Money's there, you might as well grab it.
That's right. If I can get a hold of it, I'm going to do it.
The experience to get it,
Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to learn sometime. Yeah, that's true.
Well, you know what? The whole thing I found too. I came from a world that was full of cake. For some reason, like some of the bands, the stuff I was working with, a lot of the people were a little bit self-centered, and it was all about me.
Right.
I find now the movement is kind of let's help people out.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of people that are paying it forward or helping other people. And I think that's the new thing. I'm not sure. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, that's the way to look at it, right? I think so. That's the way I agree with you 100% there.
Yeah, man. The East End, where we grew up, was a scary place, but everyone stuck together.
Yes, that's so true. It's so true, and it's still that way now. Trust me. At least in my world, it is.
Hey, I'll tell you, it's a lot safer down in that part than there is in Yaletown, I tell you.
Oh, yeah. Downtown is weird. It has definitely changed. Yes. It's not quite the same, that's for sure.
The other things that are happening, Joe, is we're seeing a real change in the big concerts.
Yes.
Well, I'd say $500,000 up, kind of like that entertainment thing, like Kid Rock up, right?
Yeah.
What we're finding is they're not coming to the main cities anymore.
No, they're not, are they? They're going everywhere.
We're doing all the B cities because there is no spendable cash.
Yeah.
In the big cities.
Yes, exactly.
In Vancouver, you can't get a major act to really play here anymore just because of the cost. So they'll do Abbotsford instead because they can make more money on merch in Abbotsford.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I've heard a lot of that. Yeah, I heard a lot of that right now. That it's the bigger venue, that the downtown is really starting to hurt. But that the P&E is talking about building, where they had the concerts in the summertime, they're talking about building an amphitheater, right?
That would make sense, man. They need something other than the core downtown.
So they're looking at maybe a 9,000 seater or something amphitheater downtown. I mean at the P&E, and then they think that if they get that, they'll be able to take a lot of shows away from down there, right?
That's just like the Hollywood Bowl, man.
Yeah, same sort of trip. So they've got the okay from the city, I heard, and they're just they're waiting to start to build. And I think they're either going to do it this year or next year. They're going to start to build it, and they're going to have it up and running because then they can run concerts all year round too, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. There's parking there, and there's entertainment in the summer. Like you got a draw in there, so it's a good thing. That's a positive.
That's a positive. That would be good for the city because you're right. I hear the cost that the promoters are complaining about the costs downtown. Yeah.
Well, what happens with the band, like for the last couple of years has been the trick is, hey, let's get in cheap and then bang them on the rider, try to make some extra money on that, and then try to get money off of VIP stuff. I don't know, meet and greet for $1,200, which is amazing. That and the merch is the only way they make money.
Yeah.
Right. So, they're even at $250,000, $500,000, $750,000, the artist really doesn't make a lot of money.
No.
The cost factors for security, everything, like liability stuff, it just costs so much money with these bigger shows that they're actually doing them in smaller places. They're scaling down a bit, making it look big, loud, huge decibel, and that's just nothing, a lot of flash and light.
Yeah.
But they need that money out of your pocket. Like, they really do, and they need that money not going to the Ticketmaster Live Nation.
Exactly.
It's got to go to the band.
Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem. Oh.
Yeah, man. But it's coming back, buddy.
There you go. There it is. So, Gene, it's been...
Listen,
yeah.
Say hi to Ken, too, buddy.
I will. I'll tell Ken. He'll be editing this thing, so he'll... Say hello to Ken.
Yeah, man. I mean, you know what? He's the coolest cat there is, man. He stuck around you guys forever. He's been around with you guys, and he's everywhere in town, man. Like,
yeah.
I see that guy in the most obscure places, but he's always where the music is, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
Kind of a cool cat.
He is a very cool cat. So I'll let you go, Gene. And you know what? I'm gonna call you soon, anyways, and we will chat again, just for the chatting sake of it.
Yeah, man, or just hang out. Like I got. We also have a barn in Surrey that holds 800 people.
Yeah, let's talk about.
We do live shows in there, man.
Yeah, let's talk. We'll talk soon. I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Cool, buddy. Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Take care, Gene.
I will, man. Thanks for calling.
Bye. Well, that was Gene Greenwood, videographer, and he did also shot photos at the same time. Dee Lippingwell was doing concerts, so he knows. Like I said, I told you guys, Gene knows a lot of people, and gave a shout out to Ken, who does all the editing for the show. It's great that Gene's doing better, and his cancer is going away. He does a lot of stuff with cannabis. For medical marijuana too, from what I'm understanding, and he's an advocate, folks. So advocate is cool, and in experiencing stuff and wanting to help others through tough times is a really good thing. So that's Gene Greenwood, folks, and he's a cool dude. Check out his videos, the bands he's done, and all that stuff, and his YouTube channels and all that kind of stuff. And we'll be talking at Gene soon. And I'm sure we'll interview Gene again at some point in time. So this is Izzy Dakota Jones with the Other Doing podcast. And thanks for listening. Take care.